Hello y'all, and welcome to YoungFolkKnits. Today we're going to rank some of my favorite petite knit patterns. Hello y'all, and welcome back to YoungFolkKnits. If you're new here, my name is Casey, and on this channel we chat all about fiber arts. Today I really wanted to dive into one of the most well-known knitting pattern designers in the world, and that is the Danish designer Petite Knit. Petite Knit is known for classic silhouettes, classic designs, and a lot of people ask, why is she such a popular designer? Personally, I feel like the reason for this is that her designs are very classic silhouettes, very streamlined. They really hit that Scandinavian hygge design and nail square on the head. So I think that there's something for everyone with Petite Knit. I don't necessarily think that every pattern is for everyone. And I do think that there are a lot of repeats and a lot of similar designs, but the sheer quantity of designs definitely includes some quality ones in there as well. So what I want to do today is go through and chat about some of the designs that I really feel are standout ones that I would like to include in my wardrobe, and ones that I think are worth the hype. Before we jump into it though, I would like to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa Jewelry. As many of you know, I've been a huge fan of Ana Luisa Jewelry for years now. This heart pendant necklace that I'm wearing today is one I've had for ages, and I continue to wear it on a daily basis. I have a matching one with my daughter, and we love wearing them together. Ana Luisa Jewelry is hypoallergenic, it's long lasting. If I wear it in the shower, it's gonna be okay, and you're not gonna break your budget with these classic pieces. Not too long ago, I added a few really fun pieces to my wardrobe. So one of my all-time favorite pieces I've ever gotten from Ana Luisa is this mood ring. Crazy fact about me, I wish I lived in the 70s, and mood rings bring back all the vintage and fun feels from that style era. This one is a great quality with beautiful gold and a nice perfect size stone. It's so much fun to see the colors change. I also got this beautiful low profile gold bangle. It's just enough to really elevate your look without adding a lot of bulk. My favorite way to wear jewelry is noticeable and beautifully elevated pieces that don't look gaudy or like they overtake your outfit. So this bangle is absolutely perfect, and one that I tend to just keep on. I've actually rarely taken this off since I've gotten it. So if you would like to try out this gorgeous jewelry, now's the perfect time. Ana Luisa is having a massive holiday sale. They also have great ideas to cover everyone on your gift list, which takes the guesswork completely out of it. And one of the best parts is that they have free and fast shipping anywhere in the US, and everywhere else is still crazy affordable. So don't miss the massive sale. Click the link in my description and have fun checking out all of the Ana Luisa jewelry. All right, let's start ranking some petite knit patterns. I do have these in a Ravelry bundle, which I will also include in the description. Now, these might not be the most popular patterns, but in my opinion, these are the ones that live up to the hype. These are the ones that stand out. And first of all is the Hazel sweater. This is a super fun all over ribbed sweater. This is a 3x3 rib, so knit 3, purl 3 rib all over. It has a turtleneck folded over collar. It has very simple edges. Due to the ribbing, nothing's going to curl, so Petite Knit was literally able to just end the fabric with the ribbed pattern that continued throughout the body. This is a contiguous pattern. It is worked in the round, top down, which I love. And even though it is ribbed, it is meant to be worn with positive ease. So when you're knitting it, that rib is going to squish in, but once you finish the sweater, you will block it out so that the rib opens up and it has a really nice, relaxed, straight line silhouette to it. Or that is the way that it was designed to be worn by Petite Knit. It has some really great super high slits with what looks like a longer back hem than the front perhaps. You could definitely adjust that. It's knit at a worsted weight gauge, so a DK weight and a lace weight held together. I believe that is a mohair held with a wool yarn. And I personally would not like this sweater with that super fuzzy 2 strands held together. I think doing a lot of purling and knitting that rib fabric, I prefer to do with a single strand of yarn. And I definitely like it in a wool yarn. It's just so much easier to knit on my hands. I would actually love to knit this in a yarn that had some drape, because I think it would give the silhouette less of a boxy, stiff feel and give the fabric a little bit more beautiful drape and movement that I think would look nicely hanging on the body. So this is something I think is a really special, beautiful ribbed sweater. It takes your classic pullover and gives it a little oomph. And I definitely have this on my list to make someday. I think it's a very solid petite knit pattern. Coming in next, I have the Friday tee. This is a super fun, short-sleeved, almost elbow length tee, which is knit at a fingering weight gauge, and the fabric is actually knit in a broken rib stitch. So it has a really fun texture, which is enhanced by the stripes. You would need 2 different colors for this, or you could knit it in a solid color. Your choice. Petite Knit used Sanus Garn Sunday, and I actually think that is a perfect yarn, but fingering weight leaves the options limitless. I love that this is another top down in the round sweater. Top down means it's going to be a great fit for me because I can try it on and make adjustments as I need. I'm just a huge fan of top down. I really like that wide ribbed hem at the bottom. I think it adds a little bit of pizzazz. Next up on my list is one that I don't often see mentioned, but it is a pattern that I own, and it's called the Scotty sweater. Now, my main gripe with this sweater is the sizing. The main frustration for me is that when you see a sweater that you love and you click on it, you get excited, that's the perfect one I've been looking for, but it doesn't come in your size. Highly frustrating. For me, I would need to knit the largest size available, which is the extra large. I do have yarn for this, but I really wish that she would go back and finish updating all of her patterns. I've noticed that she has been updating some of them, but it's going slowly. All of her new patterns do have a nice wide size range, but some of these beloved sweaters, she needs to get busy fixing them as well. This one has a really fun worsted weight gauge. I actually have some Sanus Garn Kos, or Kos, it's K-O-S, and it's a super airy, fluffy yarn that I think would look really nice in this. But the main feature of this sweater that is so much fun is the plaid. I love the sort of offset plaid color work that is used in this. Now you do have to do some duplicate stitch on this, so you actually go back after the sweater is finished to add in some of the lines, but again, another top down seamless in the round sweater, my favorite. I also think that the sleeves are really fun. They have that nice straight sleeve that bunches in at the cuff so that you get a little fancy puff at the bottom. I really like the folded collar. It makes it look very finished. This is a sweater that looks store-bought from a fancy department store, and I really like that. Coming in next is the Fortune sweater. So this is a beautiful DK weight gauge, lace held together to create a super fluffy sweater. It's a beautiful top-down sweater, knit in a round, and the main standout feature of this raglan is the beautiful lace motif. It almost looks like a lovely pointel cotton fabric that you can buy with a sweet little repeating lace pattern. I absolutely love this. I love the color that she chose. I love the sleeve length. Actually, this may not be 3/4 sleeve. I don't know why I thought that it was. Maybe I had in my mind that I wanted to make this 3/4 sleeve. This is one sweater that I actually really like, that fluffy mohair look. I like it more even than I think I would with a single strand of DK. As I'm allergic to mohair, I actually think this would look nice with something like the Fiber Company Zero Base, which is a sport weight alpaca. I think that that would be really lovely and fluffy and meet gauge nicely for me. This is just such a lovely classic silhouette, which is elevated by the beautiful lace, the lovely fabric you can create with the yarn, and the nice finish touches on the collars and sleeves. Next up on my list is the Jenny jacket, V-neck in particular, which is my favorite, but really all of the Jenny patterns. So there's a pullover, there's a Jenny jacket, and then there's the Jenny jacket V-neck. I think that the Jenny jacket V-neck might be my favorite, but it's a close tie between this one and the pullover. So this is a worsted weight gauge, which she achieved by holding 2 fingering weight yarns together. So this is worked top down. It is worked flat, and I love that beautiful all over texture. It's just so stunning, which she achieves with the very fun smocking. Not only that, but I think that the beautiful double knit button band adds a lot of finished quality look to it, and I think that the deep ribbed hem was a perfect choice for this. I especially love that she chose to knit this in a light color, because I think a dark color, while stunning, would mask a little bit of the texture. So I think that light color makes the beautiful smocking stand out. I would probably choose to knit this in a woolly yarn. I think it would be easier on my hands, and I would probably choose a single strand of DK or light worsted weight for this pattern. Next up on my list is the Esther patterns. I have to tell you, I'm a huge fan of the Esther jacket and the Esther sweater. Now, the Esther jacket was designed in collaboration with Isire yarn. I believe it was made with, yes, the Jensen yarn held together with the Isire Highland wool. And it was part of a project where they had multiple current designers going back into the archives and designing patterns that resembled and fit in with some of their older vintage style patterns. This one is very simple because it is completely made with knit and purl stitches, but it creates a lovely texture that is a lot of fun, gives it a lot of character, and I think that knit up in that Aran weight gauge, it's going to be a really nice warm little jacket that you could wear in substitute to a coat here for me in Arkansas quite often. I actually really like the shaping. It has a rather high neckline, and I like how on the jacket it has some really pretty panels created on the back and the front. I really think that this would be a pattern that could easily be managed by a newer knitter. I would not recommend it for your first ever pattern, because petite knit patterns can be a little bit harder for American knitters to follow if you're not experienced in reading knitting patterns in general. But I think once you've got a few patterns under your belt, maybe you haven't done a lot of garments, that's okay. I think this would be a great one. There's no cabling, there's no color work. I think this would be a really nice pattern to add to your list. Next up is the Celeste sweater. Right after this pattern was released, I fell in love with it and had to create one of my own. I knitted mine in Sandnesgarn Double Sunday and Peer Gynt, which I mixed together to create the color work of my sweater. So this is a DK weight gauge, and she used Sandnesgarn Peer Gynt for the entirety of her sweater. I found that for the body and near my neck at the collar, I really preferred Sandnesgarn Double Sunday because it is quite a bit softer. I still do enjoy Peer Gynt, and it doesn't bother me as much as I thought that it would. In fact, I would be totally fine making an entire sweater out of it, but I'm really pleased with the way mine turned out using Sandnesgarn Double Sunday as the main color. I think that Petite Knit has really focused mainly on single color patterns, textures, and she has really stuck to a very simple design process that she utilizes over and over again. And this was one of her first forays into a true full colorwork yoke pattern. And I think she nailed it. She just absolutely nailed this pattern. It is a huge success in my opinion. I love it. I love the simplicity of it. I think that it was great for a newer colorwork knitter because there's not long floats in it, and you can use up a lot of scrap yarns. You can change the color often. So this was a hit for me. I love my sweater. I love the fit. I chose to go with an oversized sweater, and everything about it, in my opinion, is perfect. So highly recommend this Petite Knit pattern. Next up is the Ingrid Sweater Man. I really, really like this sweater, and it was Petite Knit's take on a Guernsey style or Guernsey style sweater or pullover, and it has these lovely panels of different texture. So the reason I chose the man version is because to me, this is the epitome of that classic pullover that you might even see in Scotland or Ireland or any of the Scandinavian countries, but I particularly see the Laird in Scotland wearing one of these pullovers. And definitely in that Aran cream tweedy colored yarn. So Petite Knit used Sandisgarn Peer Gynt, which I think is a great choice for texture. It really has good stitch definition, and it is definitely that classic woolly yarn that will keep you warm. I would love to make this for my husband. I think that it would be the perfect textured pullover for him. And I would really like to make it in something like Sandisgarn Double Sunday or a worsted weight yarn, a light worsted weight yarn. I feel like I could reach a 20 stitch gauge in this textured pattern with a light worsted weight yarn. So I definitely have this on my list, and I just really like everything about it. It's so classic. It's that classic cabled pullover look, actually, but that Guernsey style sweater, and I think my husband would rock this. So I definitely need to make him one. And not only do I love it, but when shown quite a few different choices of sweaters, my husband's favorite was either the Ingrid sweater or the Storm sweater by Petite Knit. So he really likes those patterns. They're great gift knit for the male body if you are looking for one. All right, drum roll please. Last but definitely not least is Petite Knit's new pattern, the Dagmar jacket. This sweater was one of her first forays into an all-over cabled knit design. And boy, did she get it right on the first go around. Petite Knit used an Aran weight yarn, which she achieved an 18 stitch gauge in this textured pattern. And I absolutely love everything about this sweater. It has beautiful panels of cables, honeycomb, large twisting cables, but not too many. It still doesn't look too busy. She managed to keep it classic, interesting, and engaging. I love the fact that she chose toggle buttons. I think the sleeves turned out absolutely perfectly. They look to be more of a straight sleeve with a larger cuff, and she did some nice thick ribbed hems as well. I think everything turned out beautiful. The shoulder shaping looks really nice. I really like an oversized cabled cardigan. I really like an oversized cabled crew neck cardigan, especially drop sleeve. Again, top down, it's ticking all of my boxes. I think that this would be a really enjoyable knit and one that you would wear forever. So bravo Petite Knit. I also really appreciate the fact that the sizes go from XX small through 5XL, so we've got a large size range. I think that she is just getting better the more patterns she designs. And if I was going to choose a bonus pattern, it would be the Cumulus blouse. Everyone's made one. It's classic, and it has a huge number of projects on Ravelry for good reason. I love the lightweight fabric that you can create with using the fluffy yarn that she does. I love the V-neck. I love the billowy sleeves. Everything about it is just such a classic V-neck blouse design. But it didn't have enough of the standout qualities for me to include it in my absolute favorite top picks. What do you think? Did I miss her penultimate design? Let me know what you think. Should there have been another one included on this list? What order would you put them in? I really enjoy hearing if I'm sort of on the same train as everyone else or if I've lost the plot. Let me know. Also, before I forget, because I know that I might get asked, today I'm wearing the Blanca Fligjt suit, which is a pattern I absolutely love. I will link that in the description as well. I sewed this using Blackbird Fabrics Everyday Linen, and I have to tell you, it is such a fun piece that I enjoy wearing. Don't forget to click the link in the description and check out the massive holiday sale at Ana Luisa. And until next time, happy knitting, y'all.